Assalamu alaikum guys, welcome back. Let's get into it.
I think President Trump had a brilliant vision. It's called free choice. If people want to stay, they can stay. But if they want to leave, they should be able to leave. It shouldn't be a prison. It should be an open place and give people a free choice. We're working with the United States very closely about finding countries that will seek to realize what they always say, that they want to give the Palestinians a better future. And those who, and I think we're getting close to finding several countries, and I think this will give, again, the freedom to choose. Palestinians should have it, and I hope that we can secure it close by.
And we've had great cooperation from surrounding Israel, surrounding countries, great cooperation from every single one of them. So something good will happen.
Israel has just announced they're building a concentration camp in the south of Gaza. There is literally no other way to interpret this in any way. Israel Katz is the defense minister for Israel, and he has just instructed the IDF to draw up plans to put 600,000 Palestinians in Gaza into a humanitarian city where they will all eventually, the entire population of Gaza will eventually live, where they will be de-radicalized, which is another word for re-education camps, guys. And eventually the entire population will live there, and then they will be offered voluntary immigration away from the Gaza Strip. It is not voluntary if you create the conditions where people have basically no choice but to leave. That is forced. That is literally written into international humanitarian law, which was written after World War II and inspired by the idea of what happened during World War II. I just want to emphasize this. They will not be allowed to leave, and it will be operated by a humanitarian organization just like the one that they have recently hired and put together through American contractors, which has been massacring Palestinians on the daily. And then on top of this, I just want to mention, like, literal propaganda from Germany in World War II was like they justified this through protecting society and that these people needed re-educating. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say.
You can't have an army that's on trial for genocide to be also the one that controls access to food.
Do you believe the IDF are deliberately killing civilians? Because they always say we're deliberately killing Hamas and civilians are dying in the process of us going after Hamas. What do you say to that?
Well, I'd say that they killed their own hostages when they were waving white flags. They have bombed hospitals with people inside them. They left babies in incubators to rot to death. When they executed those 15 paramedics, I was in Gaza then, when they executed 15 paramedics and buried them alive.
And lied about it.
I was there when I would have children coming in with explosive injuries and they would have bread in their hand. They were eating and they targeted them when they were eating. I would pick up children as young as 2 years old that had been shot in the head by snipers multiple times. When they talk about saying that they're only going after Hamas, you said it yourself, they've openly talked about ethnically cleansing the whole of Gaza. They're actively expanding settlements in the West Bank.
They say Hamas are in all the hospitals.
I've worked in all the hospitals. It'd be a very stupid thing to have a military base in the hospital. One, it's open access policy. Everyone can walk in and out of the hospital. Also, the hospital is full of injured women and children. The hospital's full of media. And also the hospital is a base where all the international aid workers are. And my concern when I go to Gaza is the children in Gaza. That's my concern. I don't want there be any military operations out of there because it puts children in danger. But I've not heard of a doctor that's come out and said that they've actively seen fighting or rockets being fired out.
So I'm gonna pause it 1 second and say that, this person that was interviewed by Piers Morgan, he's a doctor. He's been to Gaza a few times. I think he is Palestinian as well. He just described what you've been seeing. Sniper shot to the head of a kid. Who would do stuff like that? Gotta remember that they're saying this, they're killing Hamas forces. Alright, fair enough. And the civilians are getting in the way, or they're using them as shields. The evidence shown that they're doing themselves, taking Palestinian hostages and putting them on the bonnet of a car and taking it, so make sure no one hits him. Come on. What can you do with these people? The evidence is so clear, but yet they deny it.
a hospital.
When Ethiopian people were immigrated to Israel, Ethiopian Jews, women then report 2013, that's not like 50 years ago. They reported that they were given against their consent and without their knowledge contraceptive shots so they wouldn't reproduce because they are the wrong color. Israel is a racist, apartheid country that is projecting this shiny example of secularism and democracy for the people, so people can accept whatever they do because they look at Palestinians as lesser people. This is the whole point. This is the whole point. And I would like to quote Winston Churchill. He had a quote that say, I don't believe that we have made a great wrong to the Red Indians of America or the black people of Australia because they were replaced by a higher race, a stronger race, a more world-wisely race. This is why Queen Rania is criticizing the West. This is why we here said, like, where are your values? Because this is the crux of the problem. It's not Hamas. It's not Palestine. It is people looking at us as lesser human beings.
The latest that we've heard now is from the Defence Minister Israel Katz, this plan to essentially move 600,000 people initially and then the full population of 2 million people to what he's described as a camp on the ruins of Rafah in the south of Gaza. He's talked about screening people to get in, to check that they aren't Hamas operatives, and to encourage then emigration. Otherwise, people wouldn't be allowed out into other areas of Gaza. Now, this has been strongly condemned by international lawyers who say that this is essentially pushing people into a confined space like this. Wider plans that the Israeli government has touted as well have been condemned as well by international lawyers as amounting to expulsion, not least, for example, the plans which Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu discussed, which include this idea of trying to get other countries to take in Palestinians from the Gaza Strip. Donald Trump said that other countries in the region were cooperating. Benjamin Netanyahu said that they were close to agreeing with other countries' plans to take Palestinians in, but contrary to this, Arab states have actually been trying to come up with alternative solutions because
You just say what she said. 600 people in a small concentrated place in Rafah. 600,000 people. They're not allowed to go in and out. Once you go in, you can't come out. Unless they've been expelled from the land or something. Some other country takes them in or whatnot. So illegal, and they're just doing it in the open now. Why they have the settlers come in and taking over Gaza City, making it a Riviera. Come on, man. When are people going to wake up and act against this genocide?
a solution to expel people from the Gaza Strip would amount to expulsion under international law.
Death, death to the IDF. That should be a statement of just good sense. Dismantle the army that is responsible for this slaughter. Support Palestinian resistance to genocide and occupation. But it speaks to the upside-down world that we live in, where Bob Vylan chanting this simple slogan was treated as an outrage. It provoked more investigations into artists speaking up against genocide, more attempts to conflate protest against genocide with anti-Semitism. Because in the US, across Europe, Ireland included, we're seeing the spread of authoritarianism to shut down, to oppose, to prevent criticism and opposition to Israel. A crackdown and criminalising of peaceful protests. It's only a few more days before Palestine Action will likely be officially proscribed as a terrorist organisation in Britain. Last week, many of the peaceful activists I was with at the Global March to Gaza were in Brussels to demand that the EU suspend its trade association agreement with Israel. They were violently suppressed, including Irish activists arrested and carried away for simply singing a Palestine rendition of Bella Ciao. I finish with some other words of Bob Vylan that haven't gotten the same coverage. We, like those in the spotlight before us, are not the story. We are a distraction from the story. We are not the first, we will not be the last. And if you care for the sanctity of human life and freedom of speech, we urge you to speak up too. Free Palestine.
Alright guys, I'm going to end the video there. If you're new to the channel, please like, share and subscribe. Assalamu alaikum.